Welcome to 1000 PS TV. The Kawasaki Z650 is the weakest in our test septet, and apart from the traction control system, which is new for this season, its concept is also a bit outdated. We explain why the lively Kawa can still convince. Finishing last is always tough. Especially finishing last when there are 6 other competitors. You have to be pretty phlegmatic to accept such a defeat. It seems as if Kawasaki is just so sublime that they don't care about what the other manufacturers are putting on the market in the way of lower middle-class naked bikes. Because Suzuki brings for 2023 the stronger GSX-8S, Honda the still more powerful Hornet 750, KTM again the 95 horsepower strong 790 Duke on the market, and Aprilia shoots with the 100 horsepower Duel 660 factory. Finally, the bird in this comparison finally off. Triumph has with the Trident 660 anyway already a few years a model in the program, which ranks a half class over the usual suspects. And only Yamaha refuses to screw a more powerful engine into the frame with the NT07, just like Kawa with the Z650, although the Yamaha seems more powerful than its 73.4 horsepower promises anyway. Where are the strengths of the small Kawasaki Z650? So where is the appeal of the Z650 with its mere 68 horsepower at 8,000 revolutions per minute? And 64 Nm of torque at 6,700 revolutions per minute from a mere 645 cubic capacity. Well, power and size are not always the only things that count, as we all know. Sometimes other parameters should also be taken into account for the evaluation. In the case of the Z650, for example, the fact that it has a comparatively narrow 160/60/17 tire in the swing arm and can thus be maneuvered extremely nimbly through tight corners. This makes it easy, especially for beginners and inexperienced riders, to build up confidence on the Z650 right away. The Kawasaki Z650 is an older concept, but well tuned. The seating position itself, on the other hand, is a bit outdated. You sit relatively low in the Kawa, which gives it the lowest seat height in the comparison at 790 mm, but the ergonomics could definitely be more comfortable and active with wider handlebars. That's where you notice the older concept. On the other hand, all other driving-related aspects are very well matched to this unexcited rideability. The brake with conventional ABS works reliably without being too toxic, and the suspension, where only the spring preload on the monoshock can be adjusted at the rear, is rather on the comfortable side. It's just firm enough that you can't call it spongy. Little frippery also means little weight on the Kawasaki Z650. The relatively good handling of the Kawasaki Z650 is owed apart from the narrow rear tire naturally also the low weight of 189.5 kilograms, measured on our 1000 PS scales fully tanked, with which it ranks with the light ones of our septet. However, the Z650 doesn't carry around much ballast, and in terms of electronics the Greens are taking a very cautious approach to modernizing the Z650. A 5 inches color TFT display is already the right way to go, especially because it is well structured and readable. And the dual adjustable and disengageable traction control is of course very fine in wet or particularly poor road conditions. But that's about it. Only the Yamaha MT-07 is even simpler and doesn't even offer traction control. Because you wouldn't call reliable unexciting cool in this day and age, its design is actually the coolest thing about the Z650. If you're looking for a small, handy and above all uncomplicated naked bike, but don't want to forgo a modern, edgy look, the lively Kawa is just the thing. Especially since at the time of our comparison in May 2023 it is also the cheapest in Austria and the second cheapest in Germany and Switzerland. In my opinion, anyone who still has some money left over should invest in a somewhat duller rumbling exhaust if a richer sound plays a role. Because from the outside, the little Kawa sounds powerful without being too loud, but when you sit on it, the Z650 sounds a bit tinny and boring. If you want to keep it simple in this respect, you should go for the Z650 Performance, which comes with the basic Akrapovic muffler as standard. Conclusion to the Kawasaki Z650 2023. The Kawasaki Z650 may be getting on in concept with its 650 cubic centimeter inline two-cylinder engine, but its qualities should still appeal to a large target group, an uncomplicated, reliable naked bike that won't scare off beginners or the inexperienced. The rev-happy engine with its 68 horsepower strives for sportiness. The sound could be a little less tinny. However, the rest of the Z650 fits very well with this unexcited design. The brakes are precise, but by no means toxic, and the suspension is comfortable. The low weight and 160 rear tire favor cornering agility, but the seating position and narrow handlebars don't quite play along. In terms of electronics, a traction control is now included alongside the color TFT display, but you'll search in vain for innovations. Thank you for watching. Feel free to leave us a comment about your experience with the Kawasaki Z650 and like our review. To make sure you don't miss a new video, subscribe to our channel and stay tuned.